Hey guys, this is Norbach, and some people want to know about all my macros that I've been using, so I'm going to break it down to you real fast. So basically, I have Arena Target 1, 2, and 3, and this is the simple setup of the macro. You can pause the video and copy it if you like. But really basic, Arena Target 1 is at the top always on Gladiator or the Blizzard UI, and then 2 in the middle, 3 on the bottom, and so on and so forth. So that's really good to have if you want fast targeting for the opposing team in arenas, which is always really, really good to have. Next up, I have my charge macros, which is probably a little bit different from a lot of people, but the way my mouse and the way I play is set up, I actually like it like this. Basically what I have is I have each of my charges bound to a stance. So that's actually how I would change my stances. I also have them bound to putting on my two-hander, casting charge, and then canceling various things that would stop me from charging, like freedom, protection, and bladestorming. Well, actually freedom won't stop me from charging, but I don't want the mage to spell steal it and kite me. So that's part of the reason why that's there, because if I can actually charge them, I don't need to be freedomed, because I don't want them to have any chance of spell stealing that buff from me. Next up is the just regular battle stance charge. I notice you'll see like a lot of my tooltips are different. That's kind of what I do. This is the only one that actually looks like charge on my entire screen now, even though on the right side here, these bottom 4 are actually all charge macros. So something to keep in mind. For Colossus Smash, Mortal Strike, and Heroic Strike, I just basically have a start attack macro. I don't know if that's still necessary this expansion, but I mean I already have it set up, and why not use it, right? So that's something good to do, so you make sure you guys auto-attacking so you're getting that rage rather than just using specials. That's something I had a problem with when I first started Warrior back in Season 9. Next up, I have my 2-minute damage, which is basically Blood Fury, Trinket, and Deadly Calm. You want Deadly Calm in there just so you can make sure you get your Heroic Strikes in at cheaper rage costs, so you have more damage output. This is just basically everything that's 2 minutes, and with the new Trinket nerfs, I guess this one would actually be 1 minute now for this Trinket, which actually makes Blood Fury a little less good in this macro, but, whatever. It is what it is. So, moving on from there, we have Focus Arena Target 1, 2, and 3, once again, and you can use these as a really helpful thing to target your arenas. And next up, we're going to have our Focus Charge macros. So this is a good one to have. Cancelaura, bladestorm again. I probably could actually put Bop and such on there. But what this is going to do is it's really going to step up your gameplay. It's going to allow you to charge that extra heal or something like that. Especially if you use double time like myself, it'll really put you in a position to stop a heal. Stopping one heal or stopping a greater healing wave or a healing surge is really game-changing. Huge heals, and it's really going to put the enemy shaman behind in mana, globals, and everything, which can actually provide kills for you, even though it's just stopping for 1 second, 1.5 seconds. Next we have a Heroic Strike. I just bound Deadly Calm into that because, if I have it up, it might as well be used to reduce the rage cost. Next, these are 2 really important macros. They're intervene macros. They'll have a little green circle like this if you're new to Warrior or haven't ever set these up to use them because you just came back to expansion or what have you. But basically, you have this macro and you click where you want to drop it, which I can't drop it right here. But here, let me go out here real fast for you guys. Basically, what it's going to do is it's just going to drop the totem by you press the macro keybind and then you press your left click and it'll drop it just like that. So I'll do it again for my other one. You press the keybind, you drop it. It'll actually kill the other one. I don't know if you guys knew that. But you can also intervene this one as well, which is obviously got a 30-second cooldown, but you just press the keybind one more time. And this is actually how I drop these banners too. You can use these banners to reduce the damage your team takes by 10% from enemy teams. So a lot of times if I go offense on a healer, it's a really good banner to drop. And also, the Mocking banner is really good against hunters with Stampede to peel off your teammates. Next up, we have an intervene macro, and what this one basically does, even though it's you can't really tell by just looking at it, unless you're probably good at this type of stuff. It'll actually intervene the name here, but if you have a friendly target targeted, it will intervene them instead. So basically, it's again cancel bladestorm aura. Not super important anymore, but you can keep that kind of thing going throughout your macros like Bop or whatever. And it's just, again, your preference as to what you want to put in there. But it'll intervene my main target, and then if I don't have a target in there, or I'm targeting a friendly teammate, it will intervene that teammate instead, which is cool. It's kind of like a little override in the macros, so you have less keybinds for when you're in Battlegrounds and stuff. Next up is Mortal Strike and Overpower. Just start attack again, like I said. Just basically helpful, but not huge game changers. Next you have Pummel. Start attack once again. Cancelaura bladestorm. You definitely want start attack on this one in case you don't have the rage, then your guy will start attack, and you still might be able to get the pummel off. But they reduce. Actually, never mind. They don't have a pummel cost anymore, so no rage on that. So you're actually okay on that. But cancelaura hand of protection because you want to be able to pummel if you can, and cast pummel. Pretty basic. Next up, you have your focus pummel, and this is again something that will really step up your game. What you do is, if you're like pushed in on an opposing team, you can kind of situate yourself to where you can look like you're going to run over and pummel them. A lot of people will fake cast that, and you can actually interrupt the heal without even interrupting a heal. And then you can actually go for a heal after that or something like that. Or you can even just pummel right away. You know, do whatever you want. Sometimes it can catch healers off guard. Or mages, whatever you have on your focus. Next is my damage. It's basically everything. I'm Orc, so obviously Blood Fury and your Trinket. You want to have those first because I don't know if the damage multiplier is affected if they're used after. So you do those two. And then you have your Skull Banner and Avatar and Deadly Calm. So that's the best way I think you can set it up. And then finally you have Recklessness down there at the bottom. Just being a mean boy. So that's pretty much it for my damage macros. And Shield Wall, simple enough. One-hander, shield. You want to have your one-hander first, otherwise the macro won't work. And then you cast defensive stance because you want to be taking as little damage as you can if you're trying to shield wall. And then shield wall, and then if you're prot, the shield block will go off as well. Like if you're doing RBGs or whatever. Next we have our Spell Reflect macro. Don't really understand all the wording here, but it's been working for me since I got it back in Season 9 when I first started Warrior. So basically what you do is copy this macro down, and then insert your weapons right there, and you should be good to go with your Spell Reflect macro. It'll be one click to bring on your one-hander and shield, and a second click to actually do the spell reflecting. Next up, you have just regular charge. Because I use the stance charges, and because I have them equip my two-hander, this is actually necessary for me when I'm shield walled. If I want to charge a target, I actually have to use this macro, otherwise it will screw me over. And I will cancel my shield wall, and I will probably die. So that's why that's there. Yeah. And next up is a simple macro again, Heroic Throw. And I just have it macroed in to when Heroic Throw is on cooldown, basically. It'll do this throw. And so you can kill totems with that, or maybe pushbacks at cast. And it just looks real crazy when you're throwing like a whole bunch of weapons, or a whole bunch of little thrown weapons every half second. And then these are the intervene macros for my teammate, which are the same as in the first tab general macros that I showed you earlier. So intervene your teammate or intervene your target if you have a different friendly target. Spell Reflect macro, it's the same but for this warrior, and same thing with this shield wall macro. Because I have two warriors, I have to have different weapons equipped for these two macros. So that's pretty much it for my macros, guys. I get my new webcam tomorrow, which I'll actually start putting in my YouTube videos. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and thanks for watching.